Bob Arum said some things, and I want to play back, roll the tape on Bob, because he was making some interesting comments about the pay-per-view buys of Devin Haney when he was asked about it. And I wanted to make sure I played that. I got about two things I wanted to address with that. In the meantime and in between time, let me see. Is this it right here? Yeah. This the guy. Y'all know him? Look on your screen. Remember this guy? Rick Glacer? Yeah, one of my homies sent me this earlier. One of my homies sent me this earlier in the week. Salute to my guy, Luther. He sent this to me a couple days ago. This is Rick Glacer. This him. He's talking about the Devin Haney and Regis Prograis paper excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. Pay-per-view numbers, right? Now, we don't give any credence to this guy over here at all. Okay? We don't give him no credence over here at all. At all. We know he be capping the people. I just wanted to prove to y'all where he's getting his information from. Yeah, acting like he's a real insider. Yeah, we see on our screen where he's really getting his information from. We see it. We see it. Yep. Now, how do we know that he's getting his information from there? I'm going to read you the part, and then we're going to move on to what Bob Arum said that Rick Glacer repeated. We all know piracy is a big problem, but it also had a horrible undercard. And holiday season pay-per-views has never do good numbers in the United States. Remember, Benavidez and Andre barely broke 60,000, and that was on pay-per-view on cable. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna take this off the screen. We don't want to hear anything this guy has. But I wanted to show y'all where Rick Glacer is getting his information from. Here's Bob Arum, who said it first, and then this is Bob Arum. This interview was conducted by Fight Hub. They posted it, I think, sometime yesterday. This is Bob Arum talking about the pay-per-view numbers of Devin Haney.
And I'm looking forward to it in April.
And of course, the guy who beat George Kambosos twice to become the undisputed, the fighter you promoted for a few fights, Devin Haney, he just had a resounding one-sided decision win against Regis Prograis. Seems like the entire social universe is talking about the pay-per-view numbers for that fight. And if there's anyone who's plugged into the pay-per-view industry, it's you, Bob. What are the numbers you're hearing for that fight?
Very, very disappointing. But again, you put a fight on, first of all, in December, pay-per-view. Now, what are people concerned about in December? Saving up their money so they could spend it on Christmas presents. The pay-per-view is so expensive now.
Stop. Now let's deal with it now. Bob Arum said when you put on a pay-per-view in December, people are not focusing on boxing. They're focusing on buying basically Christmas presents. That's what he's basically saying. Buying gifts to celebrate the holiday. So when you put on a fight in the month of December, whether it be the 1st or the 31st or 30th, don't make a difference. It's in December. Your pay-per-view numbers are not going to be well at all because the fight happened in December between Haney and Regis. And that's the reason why The pay-per-view buys were disappointing. Y'all got that? Okay. I have a question for Bob Arum, but I'm going to ask the chat as well. What month was it when Tyson Fury fought Deontay Wilder on pay-per-view in their first fight? I'm going to put my glasses on so y'all can hear what I'm saying. Let me ask that question again. What month was it in the chat that Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury in their first fight? It was in December, right? Okay. What Rick Glacer talking about? Holiday seasons, pay-per-views never do good numbers in the United States. Well, first and foremost, all the apps that we know of, and even those cable networks, aren't they global? Aren't they global? Aren't the pay-per-view buys global? Yeah, we know about the ancillary rights. We know about the different countries that can purchase the fight. We know that. But I'm just saying in general, though. In general. Fight happened in December, right? What Bob talking about? That's not the only pay-per-view fight that we've seen that's happening in December. In fact, isn't... Anyway, what month is Anyway fighting in this year? Salute to you, Band Up. I see you. So you salute to you also, Kevin Rice. Anyway, am I saying his name right? Inoue from Japan. What month is Inoue fighting in? December, right? Okay. What network is the American public going to be able to pay for and stream that fight on? What's the name of the network we get to stream that on here in America to see Inoue fight in Japan? What network? What streaming platform? Yeah. The day after Christmas on the 26th. Right. But what streaming platform? What streaming platform? Here in the United States, there's a streaming platform that we're going to be able to watch that fight in Japan. What network? I need somebody in the chat to help us out. What network? There we go, Andre Smith. Huh? ESPN Plus, right? Okay then. Thank you, Andre. Andre Smith and Andre Noble. Thank y'all. Okay then. So we got Tyson Fury fought Wilder pay-per-view. They first fight in December. We got Inoue. He fighting on ESPN Plus the day after Christmas. And then, of course, we got Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua fighting two separate opponents this weekend on the 23rd in December. And of course, the American public will be able to purchase the pay-per-view to watch that fight. So while we talking about how hard it is to have fights on pay-per-view in December, when we've always seen fights on pay-per-view in December. Not a lot of them, but yeah, we've seen some fights. And if you say the holiday season, what holiday are you talking about? Because there were times where people fought the same week of Thanksgiving. That's a major holiday here in America, right? Like when Kell Brook fought Terrence Crawford on ESPN Plus. A week and a half to 2 weeks before, it was really a week and a half before Thanksgiving. Major holiday. The year after that, Terrence Crawford fights Sean Porter ESPN Plus, literally a few days before Thanksgiving. Because Rick Glacer, let me put his thing back up here. He used remember Benavidez and Andre. Benavidez and Andre. What month did they fight in? Trying to prove a point here. What month did Benavidez and Andre fight on? Can somebody in the chat please help me? Benavidez versus Andre. What month did they fight in? Please, somebody help me. Thank you. Thank you. They fought in November, right? Thank you, Andre and Bully Bull. They fought in November, right? Now, this is why you need to stop listening to Rick Glacer. Let's get back to Bob. Because we see the proof where he get this from. See, now we get it. Rick Glacer is getting all of his quote-unquote inside sources from Bob Arum and them guys over there at Top Rank. He ain't no real inside source. He's trying to repeat the same thing he heard Bob say. And let's finish what Bob Arum said. Let's finish.
Pay-per-view. Now, what are people concerned about in December? Saving up their money so they could spend it on Christmas presents. The pay-per-view is so expensive now.
Stop it. Bob, you cool, Bob, sometime, but I got to hold you accountable, Bob. He said the pay-per-view was so expensive between Devin Haney and Regis Prograis. He's trying to illustrate his point of why the pay-per-view numbers did not generate high velocity in the Regis versus Devin Haney fight. I have a question again. This is for Bob Arum, and this is for you all in the chat. How much was the pay-per-view between Regis Prograis and Devin Haney? How much was it? How much did it cost? Quickly in the chat, if we can. Can somebody answer that in the chat? How much was it to order the pay-per-view between Regis Prograis and Devin Haney? How much did it cost? How much did it cost? Real quick. Kevin Rice, thank you. $60. $59.99. Okay, cool. When Devin Haney fought, thank you, Asantiel. $59.99. $60, right? Okay. When Devin Haney fought Lomachenko on ESPN Plus, how much was it when Devin Haney fought Lomachenko? How much did it cost us? Quickly in the chat. Quickly. How much did it cost us? How much did it cost us, y'all, to see Lomachenko and Devin Haney fight? Which was Devin Haney's last fight. How much was it? Guess what? It was $59.99. $59.99. I already knew the answer. I just wanted to pull it up because somebody's going to come back on here and say that I'm capping because of their favorite fighters. So basically what Bob Arum is saying, that the pay-per-view was too expensive. But the pay-per-view between Regis and Devin Haney on the Zone cost the same amount as $60 when you was promoting Devin Haney to fight Lomachenko. It was still the same price. Whether it be from the Zone or ESPN Plus, it's the same price. Okay. Boy, oh boy. Let's continue.
A lot of people who are looking to stretch their dollars to buy presents for their kids and relatives don't want to put it into buying a fight, particularly a fight like Haney, Regis Progress, which is not a huge, once in a lifetime attraction. And so the fact that it did very poorly is not really a reflection on, say, Haney's marketability.
Stop. Because the pay-per-view buys and the numbers did so poorly is not a reflection of Devin Haney's marketability. That's what Bob Arum said. Now I have a question on that. When Devin Haney became undisputed after beating Kambosos in the first fight, he fought Kambosos again in the rematch. Hey, where did they fight at again? In the rematch. Where did Devin Haney fight Kambosos at in the second fight? Where did they fight at? Do anybody remember? Quickly in the chat so we can move on. Where did Devin Haney and Kambosos fight in the second fight after Devin Haney beat him and took the belts the first time? Oh my gosh. The chat said Australia. I got a question to you, Bob Arum. If these pay-per-view numbers were not a reflection of Devin Haney's marketability, and Devin Haney beat Kambosos, becoming the A side after being the champion, why did you have him fight in Australia for the second time instead of coming back to America, his home country, since he was A side? We need answers. So Devin Haney beat Kambosos in Australia, his home country, became unified. He's the A side now that he beat Kambosos the first time. Why didn't Bob Arum promote the rematch in Devin Haney's home country here in America to fight Kambosos again to defend the same title he just won? Because Bob Arum just said, it's not a reflection of Devin Haney's marketability. I'll answer that question since Bob Arum is not here to answer it. Because we all know, and so do Bob Arum, all know that Devin Haney right now is not a pay-per-view attraction. Not now. He will be soon, in my opinion. But right now, no. And I have a third question. And this question is for Bob Arum, Rick Glacer, Bill Haney, Eddie Hearn. What were the pay-per-view buys in the first place? See, Rick Glacer talked about 60,000 for Benavidez and Andrade. But what was the actual numbers? Was it really 50,000 pay-per-view buys?